All right, so Detroit 60 series is leaking oil like crazy, and we're gonna be getting to the bottom of it, of why it's leaking oil. It's a nightmare. Now, I know these engines love to slobber and leak oil as usual and leave puddles of oil, but this is just beyond insane. This is just way too much. So don't worry, I love my glider truck. At least it's leaking oil, it's working. In any issues it's having, literally the truck will not die. It's gonna keep working as long as it has oil. So we're not broken down to the point where I can't drive anymore because of a DEF issue, because this truck does not have DEF. It's a glider truck, 99 motor, and I'm on paper logs. So that's the plus side. If anything happens, it pretty much you can still run the truck. Gauges stop working, you can still run the truck. And something electrical, you can still run the truck. So this truck is a beast. Does what it's supposed to, even though it has all these issues, but still having such a big oil leak could lead to a massive DOT violation during inspection. So you don't want to have massive oil leaks, especially the ones that are dripping a lot. Well, time to chase down the oil leaks that I'm talking about. We do have a small oil leak coming from the air compressor side, but that's been fixed, so that's not really that big of an issue as much, even though it can be. But that oil leak is probably tied into the oil panel a little bit down there, and it's leaking onto that rear half of the left driver's side leaf spring and into all that right there. Also, we got an oil leak probably over here from this side of the oil pan. Not sure yet, so I'm going to explain why I'm not sure. So we also got to go down here. Might be a rear main seal that's going out, so you can see oil leaking and spraying the whole bottom of into the exhaust, which is going to be bad. So we got to get that cleaned out. Over here is an old oil leak. I'm looking everywhere. It could be the rear main seal that's causing all this, so I'm not 100% positive, or the oil pan. We did just have the oil pan replaced, which I'll show you, which I'll explain why we got it replaced. But yeah, it's leaking all over now. This to me also kind of looks like old and full of grime and dirt. So it could be the oil leak that leaked before we did all the work. So now I haven't noticed it yet. So to confirm, we got to wash this truck at Blue Beacon, the undercarriage and the engine, to know that where it's coming from. So basically, I got to be careful when I drive. Hopefully the oil doesn't start a fire in the hot exhaust or anywhere. But yeah. Now the other oil leak, where it's coming from, is the breather tube for the blow-by is leaking oil a little bit. But also what's leaking oil the most is we got either a crack or a bad gasket for the oil return line, I think it is. Yeah, the oil return line for the turbo, which is leaking onto this, leaking everywhere up there, leaking and dripping. So now these oil leaks are not bad. This is from idling, it's not bad. But I'm gonna show you what else these oil leaks are contributing. Let's go over here to the rear. I'm gonna climb over here and I'm gonna show you all what's going on. I'm gonna stick the head, I'm gonna stick this camera down there, and you'll see all that oil over there that's made its way to over here, and I'm not 100% sure why it's doing that. So that's a big issue. Oil leaks are an issue, especially if it's leaking that much. So we got to get it washed to see where it's leaking from first. You can see it's leaking onto over here as well, and onto the wheels, which I thought my wheel seals were going out at first, but confirmed that it's not. So let's shut this down. Now the oil level is good. I'm gonna go prove it to y'all that the oil level is good. So it's not leaking like a lot of oil. So I'm hoping it's not my transmission fluid that's leaking. I doubt it. Leaking from there. I'm gonna pull this for you. So the truck been sitting for a good 2 hours. As you can see, it's at the full level. So I just closed the hood and everything. As you can see, confirmed the oil level is full. So we're not using that much oil. I doubt it's transmission fluid coming out. Possible things. Most of the oil leak looks like rear main seal at this point, which is bad. It's not a good thing. Hopefully this truck has warranty on it. I'm just a company driver, but hey, I still am trying to get down to the source of the problem. So now we're gonna be taking this truck to a Blue Beacon in Arizona. I'm currently in Flagstaff, Arizona. It's kind of chilly at night right now. We're gonna be dropping down to Phoenix, and Phoenix is gonna be hot. They have, I think, like 3 to 4 blue beacons down there. So after delivery or pickup, whatever is convenient, hopefully I could do it right after delivery or right after pickup. I will take the truck, have the whole truck and trailer washed, have undercarriage washed on the trailer, truck, and engine washed on the truck, get everything bone stock clean, and then we can confirm if the oil is actually leaking. Because here's the story I'm about to tell you, because this truck has had a whole bunch of work done to it, and I neglected on checking the undercarriage on the truck to see if it had all that accumulated oil before I just noticed this. So that's why we're going to take it to a truck wash first, and then we can confirm where that oil leak is coming from. So basically, I went home for a little fall vacation in the mountains. As you watched my vlogs, I was in Gatlinburg, Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. In the meantime, the mechanics were working on the truck. They changed a whole bunch of gaskets. They tightened everything up for me. They did a whole bunch of work, and boss paid the money, and we took off. And as soon as we took off, I want to say about 300, 400 miles into my trip in Lincoln, Alabama, I stopped and I noticed that oil leak on the turbo return line from on the truck, and I was like, well, that's interesting, why is that leaking now? So came to find out it's probably a bad gasket up there. The mechanic said he'll take care of it when I'm come back next time, and I was like, yeah, it's not leaking that much. I drove 400 miles and it's all that. So drove another close to 700 something miles, made my delivery in Texas, and when I was in Waco, Texas, I parked the truck, and I've noticed that it's leaking up normally a lot. Now it's not leaking a lot to the point you need to add. I've never filled the oil yet in this truck. It's always been on the full level. I don't know if the dipstick's lying to me, which it shouldn't be, but it's always been on the full level. But I did notice that it's leaking more even while idling, because in Texas it was hot. So I was like, yeah, I gotta idle this truck now instead of turning it off and using the heater unit we got in the truck. So I've noticed that, kept driving it, and I know that it's leaking some oil, but I know it's not leaking a lot. I stopped the truck after like 300 miles. I checked the oil. Is somewhere in Oklahoma, I think it was, or something like that, but it wasn't leaking any oil. As it wasn't using as much oil, so I didn't even have to add anything. So then I picked up a load in Oklahoma going to this Phoenix, Arizona area, Goodyear, Arizona, which is on the load I am currently on. And I decided to stop for an oil change at the TA in Amarillo, Texas. So I get there, they call me in after a couple hours. I'm not having much sleep because it was early in the morning. They call me in. They said they cannot get the drain plug off. It's just so tight they can't get it off, and they're afraid it's going to crack or mess up the threads, and we're going to need a new oil pan. And after a long debate, because they already changed the oil filters for me and the fuel filters and all that good deal, they pretty much finished the PM except draining the oil. Came to find out that TA did this oil change last time on this truck in Ohio 30,000 miles ago. Now, I just hopped into this truck, so I did not know any maintenance things about this truck. I was just told, hey, after next weekend, do an oil change on it. Usually we change the oil every 12 to 15,000 miles, but hey, this time it was 30,000, not normally. It's not like we purposely ran 30,000 miles not changing the oil. And we found out the last driver that was in this truck before me, the TA in Ohio changed the oil for him. So TA in Amarillo, Texas called a TA in Ohio, and it was like, hey, can you authorize work on changing the oil pan if this oil pan fails after we try to open the drain plug? Like, yeah, but first try to see if you can pop the drain plug. So the mechanic tried it and ended up screwing up the threads on the drain plug, where the drain plug goes in. So we had to get a new oil pan. Luckily, the Freightliner dealership on a Saturday in Amarillo, Texas had an oil pan. So I'm sitting at the truck stop doing my 34-hour restart, which I should have done in Flagstaff, Arizona, which is what I was planning to do, but I had to do my 34 instead in Amarillo, Texas. So they changed the oil pan. They call me in. The mechanic says, hey, I did all these gaskets. I sealed up for you. Basically, he made them tight. He made sure nothing was leaking and got it done. So I drove after that, which was the next. Well, actually, I idled a couple hours after that, and hardly any oil dripped out, which I understood right away that he couldn't fix all the leaks. He fixed most of them, so I was like happy. I was like, yay. He fixed most of the leaks on the engine. This is awesome. So now I drove today, which is the 9th. I drove from Amarillo, Texas to Flagstaff, Arizona. Came here, and then this is what I've noticed, that all these oil leaks, and then I noticed the undercarriage of the truck of everything I just showed you. So we're not sure if that oil is from before the oil pan was changed or after. We're not sure which one it is. So that's why we got to take the truck to a truck wash, get all that clean, and then we could see where it's actually coming from. I failed to check the undercarriage when I had that massive oil leak, because I usually don't check there, but this time what ended up happening, that oil went on the inside of the tires, and I was like, oh shoot, I got a wheel seal problem. And it wasn't. It was just oil coming from the engine back there, and it's on the exhaust, which is a little bit scary, so gotta drive carefully. Hopefully that exhaust don't get too hot. But we're just gonna wash it, and after wash it, we'll confirm where the oil leak is coming from. If it's not leaking and it's just the oil that was left over from before the work was done, that's good. But if not, we're gonna have to go to probably a shop or Freightliner dealership, because this is a 2020 Freightliner Coronado glider, has some warranty on it, just went through a rebuild because of a driver error. Not going to get into detail about that, it wasn't me. And me personally, if I was owner up, what I would do is I do two options. One is, if I have warranty, take it to a Detroit authorized shop or Detroit company, like they have standalone Cummins companies, or take it to a Freightliner dealership for warranty. If I don't have Freightliner dealership for warranty, I'd be running this truck as much as I can until I get home or have a long weekend after making money, and have them just take care of all of the issues and get that taken care of, because Detroit's leak oil. They do. You're never going to 100% have a non-leaking Detroit 60 series 12.7. But this is just too excessive. So I just made it down part of the mountain on 17. I'm in Mayer, Arizona at the Pilot fueling. And I can tell you that I am not seeing any new oil leaks anywhere. Like, all this stuff down here kind of looks like it's old. Like, I'm thinking once we wash it, we shouldn't have any oil leaks, any problems, because it's not looking bad right now compared to what it was before. Let's go take a sneak peek over here. But I don't see any new oil being thrown. I mean, it all looks like caked up, like it's been there before. I think just a good wash and we should be good to go. So only time will tell after a wash to see what the heck is going on. But I think it was because of the story that I told you of how much we were using before we changed the oil pan. So almost done getting unloaded. I have to put away the wood and stuff and everything like that. Got to slide my axles back to tandem, but as you can see over here, I'm thinking this is from oil. So got to do 2 pickups so far, maybe a third after this, going to Ohio, and then I can wash the truck and trailer, and then we'll find out where it's gonna be, where the leak is coming. So when I finished unloading, I also went and picked up this lift, which I had to partially tarp with my cheap tarp because of the electronics on there. They said they're probably not going to damage anything because it's going back under warranty, so they're going to destroy it. But anyways, picked up that and picked up this bucket to Ohio. Might pick up a third partial yet, not sure, but we're trying to make money coming out of Arizona. So right now I'm going to look at the time, but probably we'll end up going to the truck wash about 20 miles away, getting her washed out, and then after 5 o'clock getting no partial in Arizona, I'm going to head back up to towards my route in Ohio and see if Oklahoma City has any partials. All right, she's officially clean. As you can see, they cleaned up the oil pan and everything as much as they could. Everything's clean over there, so we should have no issues on that end. Now let's go see how well they clean underneath. Let's go stick that camera underneath the truck. And it's all grime now. So I don't know. We'll find out soon if it's leaking oil or not. So they cleaned up as best they could. But we will find out later if it's leaking oil a lot or not. So that's gonna be the issue. Everything looks Gucci over here. I doubt it's leaking any oil from here. And then, of course, we've got the trailer all cleaned up as well. So that's the good news. So stopped at Flagstaff, Arizona here at the Little America and doing my pre-trip for the next day. And ladies and gentlemen, we can confirm that there is an actual oil leak over here. Not sure where exactly it's coming from. Most likely from all the way from the front from the motor and traveling down here, because I can't tell where it's coming from. If it was coming from the diff, it would be going down the direction and not forward. So something's leaking from there going this way. And I gotta open the hood yet to find out, but first let's complete the rest of the pre-trip here. Yes, I'm in Flagstaff, Arizona. It's a really nice place to stop at. All right, guys, so here are the oil leaks after the truck wash. The oil leaks is oil return line for the turbo, which ain't leaking that much. Then we got probably the rear main gasket leaking right there, as you can see. Those are the two oil leaks, and all that oil is being spread down to over there. So that's the situation. It's really dirty down there. It's looking pretty bad. It's going in the exhaust. So it's leaking all out of here. Either the oil pan or the rear main. As far as this area is concerned, it's leaking out of here, which is by the air compressor down over there. So that's leaking up there, but that one ain't that bad. But yeah, it's also in back of my leaf spring and that area over there. So let's go look what this side looks like. So not that much of a leak over there, but again, it's going up there. So it's confirmed it's leaking there from either the rear of the oil pan or that seal over there between the engine and the transmission, and it's blowing it by all the way there. So we got to get that fixed sometime. Not sure how. Luckily, at the oil level I just checked, is still at the full level of the dipstick, so it's not using as much as creating a mess, unfortunately. So I'm currently in Albuquerque, New Mexico. I'm gonna be checking down my load quickly, like make sure everything's right with my wheels, tires, whatnot. I always do that. But let's go see if the issue got worse or not. Let's go stick that camera up there and see if the oil leak got worse. So, moment of truth. Moment of truth, folks. Moment of truth. Yep, definitely a serious oil leak. It's all over the place down there. Still wet, so. And to make things worse, if you heard that, I think there's something wrong with my brake drums. There, hear that squeaky noise? I have no idea what it is. I've checked my brakes. Everything looks adjusted properly. My brake pads look good. Gotta be the brake drum's fault at that point. Now, I am seeing that it's not that bad right now over there with basically with the oil leak, but it's still leaking, but looks like just not as much. But it's still leaking a little. We still got to get it fixed. So there definitely is an oil leak. But it's not that bad, honestly. It really isn't. So it's just leaking some to you over there. So doing your pre-trip here, made it to Elk City, Oklahoma. And we got a bit more issues, more than just an oil leak. Yes, I just had to add 2 quarts of oil. Leaked about just a tiny bit under full. But the other issues are the fact that, looks like there's something wrong with my air governor, because as you can see in the video, it's not pumping past a certain PSI. Okay, so I think we have a problem with the air governor. So I'm gonna lower the air. It's not kicking in yet. Not kicking in yet. They used to kick in at around there. Not kicking in yet. It's gonna start kicking in over here at around 80 PSI, which I think it's too low. As you can see, it starts kicking in at 80 PSI. I think it's too low. So it still builds air, but I think we have a problem with the air compressor because it's only kicks in at 80 PSI. And the oil leaks just got worse and worse. Still pretty dirty. As you can see, look at this over here. So I woke up today, started the truck, about ready to start to go towards Oklahoma City, and we got an issue with the air. It doesn't want to actually pump up. So one of the air tanks is lower, one of the air tanks is full. So watch when I lower it all. Now it's gonna start pumping up. So also on the side note, what's going on is as oil leaks, and underneath the trailer down there looks like oil leaks, all because my engine's leaking oil and pushing all the oil down there because air, traveling down by air on freeway speeds. Next thing you know, it's dripping oil underneath places where it looks like there shouldn't be. So your boy Eddie V stopped over here in El Reno, Oklahoma, near Oklahoma City, and I am trying to get a partial for the rear of that trailer down over there. Got about 12 feet of space, so there's a good chance we might get something, might not. We'll have to wait and see. So I am in Illinois now, off of I-71, only about 490 or something like that miles left to go. Oil leak's still pretty bad and not bad at the same time. I think I'm using about 1 to 2 quarts of oil every 700 miles. So basically we did not pick up another partial. We waited a whole day in OKC, didn't pick up, so I did a sleeper berth split and I drove whole night, and now I took my 10-hour sleeper berth. So there's the bucket that I just dropped off. It's going to the job site directly. Now it's time to go and do my deliveries in North Canton, Ohio. So as you can see, I dropped those off. I am right now doing choke straps over here on the steel metal. And after I do the choke straps, I'm gonna tarp it. And after tarping, I'm gonna put some chains over the tarp, some straps, and also some 2-inch strap and a 4-inch strap. So finished securing and tarping the load. There's 2 choke straps underneath, like I mentioned before, and I'm gonna have to tighten those down when I go hit the road, because they're loose on this end but tight on that end. So with the bumps and everything, they will like adjust. So you gotta tighten them down more. But ended up running 3 more chains on top with pads. Y'all are gonna be like, hey, you can't do that. Yes, you can. It says it ain't going anywhere. Like, look how tough that is. That ain't going anywhere. I got a big strap in there. I got a small strap there. So with all that being said, all the power straps and everything, we're good to go. This load ain't moving anywhere. So this is my load right here. I came to Waterloo, New York, just the petrol, just topped it off with fuel, put some fuel additives. It's gonna get you like 29 degrees at night, so anytime it's under 32 degrees, you want to start running fuel additive. There is, however, one issue. So if y'all look over here with my oil leak, that one's getting worse. It's caking on the turbo. Okay, it's caking on the turbo, which isn't that good, honestly. So I hope we can get all these oil leaks fixed, because they're not looking too good. And underneath, it is just still bad up there with oil. I don't know if you can see it wet. Okay, so I arrived at Pratt & Whitney, parked there for a brief moment to go check in. Once I'm past this gate, I'm not allowed to record video or anything like that. So, with that being said, I'm gonna make a quick update if I got checked in or not, but I won't be allowed to record the unloading process, unfortunately. So, good news, checked in. They're gonna open the gate for me. Gonna swing wide, back it in, get it unloaded, and then probably go to a TA, like, I don't know, 40, 50 miles away from here to get the truck looked at and diagnosed. So, at TA Truck Service with some bad news. Well, you might be wondering, what's the bad news at? Good news is the fact that I'm empty. That's good. The bad news is, folks, is the fact that TA here in Fulton or something like that, New York, it's between Utica and Albany, New York, cannot fix my truck. Why? It's not even point of looking at the issues. My boss said not to do it. So basically, they got no certified mechanic that can do that kind of work, and all the dealerships are 100% closed on a Saturday as of right now until Monday. So the boss man told me, may as well go ahead, just relax on do your 34. There's gonna be no reload on a Saturday right now. Do your 34. On Monday, we'll try to send the truck to Chicago. So we're gonna try to make it into the Chicago area by Thursday morning for them to look at the truck. So I parked over here at the cul-de-sac, and I'm picking up an armored vehicle up there. Armored vehicle producer, manufacturer. So it's Pittsfield, Massachusetts. It did snow here at one point already this year on this 2025 winter season. So we got a little bit of snow, as you can see, real snow. Parked at the cul-de-sac. I did call that company and them. They said I could park here until they open up 7 in the morning. So we're gonna load this vehicle up here, and it's a partial load. It's not a full load. You can't get really full loads out of this part of the East Coast, but we're gonna load something in the back, hopefully, and we're trying to run to Chicago, which unfortunately is like 900 to 1,000 miles altogether. I'm not picking up this new stuff over here. No new Bearcats, unfortunately. I'm picking up this junk over here. Stuff that doesn't run and beat up, going to some kind of customer I think they could already buy, but it's going to be loaded onto this trailer. Got her loaded, time to get the paperwork and hit the road for potential partial, but we're going back to Chicago to get the sucker fixed. So I don't know if the camera's picking up it all that well, but it's officially snowing in Erie, Pennsylvania, and I stopped here for the night for a potential partial. I'm at my first delivery, my first stop. It's actually doing my pre-trip, post-trip, and as you can see, I'm leaking oil on the outline of my whole engine, which is not too good. I don't like this. I don't like how much oil we're using. Had to top it off a little bit, about a quart. But I just did my pre-trip, gonna be offloading that over there and waiting for them to either open up 5, 6:30, or 8 a.m. Not sure. I got mixed Google reviews. I know when I called the number on the sign, it said like we only open 8 a.m. So we'll see what happens. Gonna rest down here, just finish this pre-trip up. But yeah, gotta get that unloaded, and then for the Bearcat, I've actually called the customer ahead of time and said, hey, please make sure there's gonna be someone to push this thing off because it doesn't start or run. Now, unfortunately, the partial didn't work out in Erie, Pennsylvania. I stopped in Erie, Pennsylvania. It did not work out. Went to Cleveland, Ohio for a couple hours, no partial, so we ended up making no money. Folks, subscribe to the channel because I ain't making no money doing this right now. This sucks. with the truck needing to be repaired, ain't nothing is perfect here. So please subscribe, and let's go finish these deliveries and see what happens. So unfortunately, they opened up a little bit after 7, but getting that one coil unloaded, I'm gonna get my paperwork signed, and then time to deliver the Bearcat in the back. So, got her disconnected from the trailer at O&K in East Dundee, Illinois. So, hopefully, everything's gonna be good now. Of course, I'm gonna have to wash the truck and trailer after repair, but here is what's going. So, we're adjusting the 5th wheel. We're gonna check the brakes with that squeaky noise, and we're also going to check why it's not building air pressure correctly, and fix all the oil leaks and the exhaust coming up into the cab. So, we'll see how well they're gonna do this. Well, truck will be decommissioned for a couple days. I'm gonna explain what's gonna happen right now. I'm gonna get picked up by an Uber to go to the airport to get a rental car. So the Uber has just dropped me off, and we're gonna be going down to get the car. About to pick up my car. Guys, please subscribe and support the YouTube channel. I ain't making no money on this trip at all. So currently in the RAV4. Really nice, brand new vehicle pretty much, but it has 41-something thousand miles. So let's go hit the road and get our stuff from the truck, and then I'll tell you why we got a car rental instead of hotel. Basically, I got family living around here and whatnot, so I'm gonna go ahead and visit them and stay over there while the truck's being broken down, works on for a couple days. And yeah, so what's going on with the truck? Rear main engine seal in the front went out. Turbo oil return line for the turbos, that seal is out as well. They're gonna have to fix all that and then idle the truck, run and see if that's what the issue is. And also, some of the stuff was not tightened down all the way, so they're gonna fix that. They're gonna fix all that I mentioned before, and hopefully that's all that's left to get fixed. So folks, I am currently in Oak Creek, Wisconsin, returning back to the shop, which they said they fixed everything on the truck, all the oil leaks except the air compressor issue. So we're gonna go there. Hopefully they fix it, and then it's gonna take me 2 hours to get the car back to car rental. So here's the truck. I'm at the shop. Let's go see if it's ready. So she is done. They did the front main engine seal. They fixed my exhaust manifold that was leaking stuff like everywhere. So that hooked her up to the trailer. Somebody's honking there, but hooked her up to the trailer. Did a pre-trip. She's good to go. The only thing that's left for me to do is put my stuff in there and go return my car rental, and tell my dispatcher to start looking for a load. Also, while she's here, she will be left running, so mechanics and my wife will keep an eye on her. That way, if there's any coolant leaks, they will know for sure. So a little bit of a bad news. I got some oil leaks right there, and as you can see, there was a puddle before I connected the trailer right here and right here. My boss is going to call some people on mobile service to quickly do a wash the engine, and then we're going to run the truck and see where the oil leaks are. But other than that, he told me to go ahead and do the car return rental, and I'll take it one thing at a time. On my way there to return the car rental, leaving out now, but it kind of sucks because of the fact that I can't use tollway, so it's going to take a little while to get. Dropped off my car rental, dropped it off. Time to go down to the airport and get an Uber. So you might be wondering what I'm doing at the truck wash in Elgin, Illinois. Well, my boss tried calling the mobile detailer or a guy with a pressure washer to try to clean the hose on site. Couldn't find anyone. Couldn't get anybody to answer the phone, so this is the closest place 15 minutes away. Gonna get the truck wash, the engine wash, underneath wash, the trailer wash, underneath the trailer wash, and on top of the trailer wash. So after this, then we'll go back to the same shop and have them check the oil leak. Because the mechanics, when I was talking with my boss over the phone, the mechanics said that while I was gone, they confirmed that there's an oil leak, but they won't fix it until we wash the engine. Now here's the funny part. Why don't the mechanics have a pressure washer to do all this? Who knows? We're going to be washing the truck trailer underneath the truck and trailer, and the engine degreased and washed as well. So I came back from my truck wash, and they told me to drop the trailer on the street behind them. So that's my trailer right there, all nice and shiny. I like the fact that it's very nice and shiny, finally. And I'm waiting in the parking lot there, and hopefully I can find the oil leak. I hope so, I don't know. So we'll get to see if there's an oil leak or not by running the truck right now. Oh, they found the oil leak issue. As you can see, there's probably a drop of oil there somewhere, but it's coming from the power steering pump. So we need a gasket for it. So folks, hooking up to the trailer, hooked up, raising my landing gear, doing a quick little walk around, but officially she's fixed. That gasket has been replaced from the power steering pump, and we're gonna be ready to go. The only way to tell if she has any severe oil leaks now is literally, and I mean literally, gonna have to do a 700-mile run to home. Today is Monday, the 24th, and we're trying to make it at home for Thanksgiving, the 27th, I think. So hopefully we get a load by tomorrow morning somewhere towards, so that we can run home. That part though is the very sad part out of this run, is that I'm broke and I don't have money even to buy a car that I really want that's for sale in Chicago, Illinois. So link in description below. Hopefully by the time I finish editing this video that you could actually click on that link in description below and buy this BMW. It's an E30 325i that is replicated like a BMW M3 from E30, but I could have easily put it on the upper deck and haul something else because it's a nice, astonishing price. Everyone I talk to about this BMW says that it's a good price. I would have put it on the upper deck and taken it home with me, and registering in South Carolina, insuring in South Carolina will be hecka cheap, and everything's been rebuilt on it. I don't have to put a single penny into it other than doing some upholstery work in the seats. But that's how broke I am, folks. I really wanted to buy this BMW, but unfortunately I'm still broke. So please subscribe to the channel. It does help me out, and hey, maybe one day on this channel you'll be watching a millionaire vlogging his Lexus LFA. Who knows? Picking up some steel bars over here. Got a load late, so I'm gonna be able to make a delivery tomorrow morning in Indiana, make my way home for Thanksgiving. But anyways, I'm gonna show you something. I do have an oil leak. It is very tiny. It is that right there. Like I said, it's very tiny, so I ain't sure. But about the oil leak, probably gonna have to run it like that. I mean, it's very small, so we'll have to get loaded, gonna get back to Indiana, then South Carolina. Oil leak, we'll have to figure out some other time. So we're all loaded. Time to go ahead and hit the road. All strapped down. Straps are nice and tight. And it's tarped. 21,000 pounds, very light. Time to hit the road. All right, so backing into a dock right now, or at the shipper. Gonna about to back into that door, into the rolling door. So glad I don't have to untarp this and unload this in the rain. So guess what, folks? I'm getting loaded with copper now, headed back to South Carolina. Sorry I didn't show the transition of me driving to here. Picking up in Indiana, and gonna be pulling basically an all-nighter through because, hey, Indiana is a little closer than where I was in Chicago, so I can make it home in pretty much one shot. But yeah, gonna get a load of copper, and then hopefully we'll make the delivery by 2 p.m. Fortunately, you cannot see the copper, but it's in there. Alrighty, got her tarp. I'm ready to go. Let's head on back home. So I got to the delivery, but we are having freaking issues. Is that they do not want to accept the load. Not because there's something wrong with it, but because they don't have room for it. So he's gonna talk to his boss right now. We'll see if they can accept it today. If they can't accept it today, we're gonna have to deliver it on Monday, or take this load back to Indiana on Monday for Monday delivery. So that means I have to leave Sunday. I have to leave Sunday, right straight after church service. I have to leave on Sunday and get it delivered then. So we will see what's gonna happen. Take one day at a time. So right now, he's on, the unloading guy is on the phone with his boss. So hopefully they accept it. If not, I'm gonna have to get some more money for this because this is unacceptable. So good news, actually getting unloaded. They're gonna find room. But anyways, let's go check on the oil leak and see how bad it is after the repair, which actually it isn't. Let's go look. Gonna shine the camera down here. And if you can see, all dry, nothing wet. Everything is like freaking getting dry. You know why? Because we barely got a leak. Barely got an oil leak. I'm gonna show you in the front what kind of oil leak we got. Been idling here for 30 minutes. That's it. That's all on the oil leak. Nothing else. From the blow-by to wherever that little bit is, which ain't much at all. It's basically, it would be this or that. I don't even know if that's me though. Could have been the other truck. But yeah, that's all. It ain't much. Just a little bit of an oil leak. And good to go after that. Ain't nothing much to worry about. Currently empty. Just got unloaded. Time to head home. About an hour and a half to the yard. And after that, I will get to go home. A little windy here. Warm wind blowing. Yeah, empty. Anyway, made it home for the holidays. So that's the good news. Not canceled. Guys, I'm Eddie B. 2004 turn right. This particular package, driving a temp in the 6 Series.